Hello, thank you for joining me. Appreciate you clicking on the video. Today I got a different one. We're going to take this comp off my Saint Victor, and we're going to slap on this SilencerCo ASR flash hider. I do want to say I'm not a certified gunsmith, I'm just an enthusiast, so you may do this differently, and if you do, let me know down in the comments, but this is what I've been doing on all my rifles, and I've never seen any failures, never had one back out or fail on me, so this seems to work very well for me. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've already taken off my handguard. Every handguard is going to be different. I've also broken down the bolt carrier group. You don't have to do that if you're using a reaction rod, but I'm using the Magpul bev block seen here. And you actually have to snap the bolt carrier group into the back to hold the retention because you're going to need this thing strong. You're going to be putting quite a bit of torque on it. Now we're going to take some oil. This is some CLP. We're going to soak in between the muzzle device, the barrel, and the crush washer. It's going to help break up some of that carbon, make it a lot easier to take off that muzzle device. Sometimes they can be stubborn as hell, so you might want to let it sit for a little bit. And then grab you a wrench so you can spin that sumbitch off. Some of these can be really stubborn, like I said, so get a big one. 3/16 Husky is what I'm using. You need some torque. I already cracked this one off because my little table here couldn't handle the torque. Had to take it down to the garage. If it's really giving you trouble, there may be an excess of Threadlocker compound on there. You may need to use a torch or a lighter just to heat it up. Sometimes that helps break down that compound on there. So there we go, got it off. I have plans for this comp. I'm going to put it on my M422. So I'm actually going to take a look at the threads, make sure I don't see any cross threading or marring or damage. And then I'm also going to take a peek at the threads on the barrel. Super important. You want to make sure nothing was damaged. There's not an excess of red Loctite, especially if you bought this rifle pre-owned. You want to make sure everything's looking great. Some of these goobers use a shitload of this red Loctite or, what's that other stuff? Roxette. So definitely take a look at those threads because I've seen some bad ones. If they're dirty, this is how you clean them. I'm going to take a clean microfiber cloth, well, cleanish microfiber cloth. I'm going to wipe down the threads in the end of the barrel, make sure we have a nice clean workspace. We really want to make sure whatever compound you're using, whether it be Vibertite, Roxette, or Loctite, has a good clean surface to make a bond between your muzzle device and your threads. Especially if you're putting a can on this thing, you really want to make sure those threads are clean and it makes a good connection, because if that thing backs out while you're shooting it, yikes. You put a hole in the side of your can. That's gonna suck. Hope you got the lifetime warranty. So here I took a little bit more CLP, coated those threads again, and I'm taking a microfiber cloth and covering the barrel so I can hit it with this brass brush. I'm using this to clean all that unseen debris down in between those threads, as well as on the front of that barrel. The microfiber cloth is to make sure I don't scratch the barrel or put any markings on it with the brass brush. Now the brass won't do too much damage, but if it's caked in Roxette or Loctite, you might have to use a steel brush, and that one will mar up the end of your barrel. So make sure you cover it with something. Microfiber cloth works great. I've also seen some people use tape. Now that we got those threads brushed, we're going to put a little bit more oil on there. It's going to help lift up some of that carbon and lead, and we're going to wipe it down again with our microfiber cloth. Now, back to what I was saying about some of these goobers being silly. I bought this flash hider secondhand. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the threads. I would recommend you do the same if you also bought secondhand. If you bought it brand new, you really don't have to worry about it, but I would recommend just giving it a nice wipe down because it's going to help get some of those machine oils off of there. Those machine oils will interfere with that setting compound bonding properly. So here I've taken a little bit of oil, and I'm taking I think it was a 40 Smith & Wesson brush. I can't remember off the top of my head, I apologize. I'm just using that to scrub the inner threads and clean them up. Once you get them all scrubbed down, you can take a microfiber cloth and something pokey and shove it in there. And that actually works very well for getting a nice surface area on those threads. Just give it a good twist and a spin. You can also buy some of these like buffing tools. I don't know, I don't think I've ever actually used one of these for its proper use. I usually just use it to clean. It also works pretty well. And there we go. Nice and shiny. Back over to the bench. We're going to go ahead and thread this thing on and check out the timing. Now, this specific flash hider does not need to be timed, but I do want to go over it because some muzzle devices do need to be timed. So what is timing? Simply put, it's properly aligning your muzzle device. Let me give you an example. This is another build I have. On here I have a SilencerCo ASR muzzle brake. It does need to be properly timed so that the gases expand out of the brake in the proper direction. giving you proper recoil mitigation. And you accomplish that with shims. Shims go in between your muzzle device and your barrel and help you properly time it. They're going to come in a pack of varying sizes. You're probably going to need to combine a few to make sure it times properly. Just remember, when you torque it down, it's going to turn an additional quarter turn. So get something that's pretty damn close, torque it down, check and see. If it's not, back it out, try a different combination. Very important side note, if you intend on using this muzzle device with a suppressor, do not reuse the crush washer. If you do, you run the risk of misalignment and baffle strikes on your suppressor, which sucks. Again, hope you got the full warranty. So now that we've gone over that and verified that our muzzle device sits nicely, I'm going to go ahead and re-wipe down the threads with a nice clean cloth. Again, we want the best possible mating surface for that bonding compound. To date, we are using Vibertite 131 high strength red. I've used it on 2 other rifles and so far so good. It's worked very, very well. You can get it off Amazon too, which is super nice. Now don't go crazy with this stuff. I'm telling you, you'll hate yourself if you ever have to take off this muzzle device, or you'll piss off your local gunsmith. Seriously. All you need is a nice, fine, clean line at the top, and I actually let it sit for 30-45 seconds and let it slowly melt down and cover those threads. Now make sure you grab your shims if you need them, slide them on, and go ahead and thread on your muzzle device. Once it's on, give it a good hand tight. Now grab a torque wrench. This is a super cheap Amazon Basics torque wrench. You're also going to check your instruction manual or the website on what it recommends for your specific muzzle device for the torque. This one recommends 20 to 30 foot-pounds, so I got this one set at 30 foot-pounds. Now, if you buy the SilencerCo brake new, you get a tool, but I don't have it because I bought it secondhand, so I'm going to be using the Real Avid Armorer's wrench. That lets me put a torque wrench in it, and this little cut here is the same diameter as the back of this muzzle device, so it'll work perfectly for me. So make sure everything's aligned, make sure your torque wrench is set properly, and torque it down. I use my hand here to give it a little extra support. You can see it's turning quite nicely there, but unfortunately my little table here started to crack under the pressure under my vise, so I had to again take it out to the garage and use one of the tables out there. But I was able to get it clicked on, reinstalled the handguard nice and gently here, and here it is. Everything looks great. It fits nice with the handguard. I love these little ASR brakes because I use the ASR adapter on my SilencerCo Hybrid 46, which is a great little multi-caliber can. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you if you followed all the way through to the end. I hope it's been informational in some way. Helps you get your muzzle device installed. If it did, throw me a like and let me know down in the comments. If you do anything differently, also let me know down in the comments. I appreciate any feedback because, like I said, I'm like a amateur. I'm just an enthusiast. I haven't taken any proper gunsmithing courses or anything like that. For anybody at YouTube, I recommend against modifying your firearm. Don't touch it at all. Just buy it and shoot it just the way it is. Actually, don't ever shoot it. Just leave it in the safe.